Let's be very clear about something. This is not another webinar. This isn't some motivational talk. What you're about to see is a tactical briefing, a look at the psychological architecture of reality itself. So if you're here to build, not just to participate, you're gonna want to listen closely.
You have to understand this before we go any further. I mean, really get it. Every single flaw in your offer, every client that's just mediocre, every target you miss, that's a fossilized record of a doubt you failed to conquer. The real battlefield? It's internal. Your business is just the physical proof of that fight. It's either going to be the collateral damage of your indecision, or it's going to be a monument to your victory.
Okay, first things first, we have to understand the terrain. Right now, the business landscape is basically a graveyard of outdated strategies. It's a killing field where good, well-meaning people go to die. So right now, we're going to conduct an autopsy on these failed tactics. So look here. On the left, you've got the old, obsolete games. You got feature wars, where you're always just one tiny update away from being irrelevant. Then there's hustle culture, that cult of activity that confuses being busy with making progress. And of course, price competition, which is really just a race to the bottom to see who can serve the worst clients. Now, on the right, that's the new battlefield. Instead of fighting over features, the sovereign, the person in charge, competes on identity. They seize what we call psychological territory. Instead of just hustling, they engineer outcomes with rock-solid systems. That's system sovereignty. And instead of racing to the bottom on price, they use patience as a weapon to achieve temporal dominance. We're going to break down every single one of these. This isn't just theory. This number, $83,000, it's burned into my memory. That's how much revenue I lost literally overnight in my first agency. And why? Because I was playing those old, obsolete games. My business was built on the quicksand of chasing clients, not on the bedrock of real systems. That failure? That was the tuition I had to pay to learn this entire playbook. So now we turn to the core of this whole briefing, the 3 sovereign games that define this new reality. And listen, these are not tactics. They're fundamental shifts in how you see the world. If you master them, you become the architect of your own market. But if you ignore them, you're just going to end up as another brick in someone else's wall.
The first game, it's not about demographics or market segments. None of that stuff. It is about what we call psychological cartography. It means you have to learn to map the deep fears, the legacy drivers, and the real validation sources of your clients. You're going to stop selling to their company's balance sheet and start speaking directly to their deepest, most personal drivers.
Let me show you exactly how this works in the real world. I was once hired to acquire a luxury brand from its 84-year-old founder. Now, the bankers, they only saw numbers, but I used this exact map. His fear vector wasn't losing money. It was his life's work being watered down and forgotten. His legacy lever was preserving the craftsmanship. So we didn't just buy his company, we structured something called a heritage trust and basically adopted his life's work. The deal at that point became inevitable. All right, game 2 is all about architecture. You are not building a job with employees. You are building a citadel, an anti-fragile, self-reinforcing system that generates value on its own, repels threats, and frees you up to be a strategist, not just an operator chained to a machine you built yourself. This right here is the blueprint. First, you codify all your decision-making so you're not the bottleneck for everything. Second, you map the flow of value, making sure nothing ever gets lost in the cracks. Third, you install a feedback nervous system that sends you pain signals in real time when something's wrong. Fourth, you build an immunity framework against all the known threats. And finally, you mandate an evolution engine to constantly try to kill your current model before a competitor does. The proof this works? I took a 3-month sabbatical. The business, running on this architecture, grew 22% without me. Okay, the final and, frankly, the most powerful game is temporal dominance. This is where you learn to weaponize time itself. While all your competitors are trapped in the prison of quarterly results, chasing the next viral moment, you will be playing the long game. You're building inevitability, not just short-term urgency. I used this exact protocol to secure a $47 million acquisition of a company that wasn't even for sale. For the first 6 months, we just observed. That's it. Then, we quietly solved one of their operational problems for them, anonymously. We started building relationships through their trusted network. By the time we actually made an offer 18 months in, it wasn't a negotiation. It was just the logical conclusion to a story we had been writing for over a year. Okay, we now shift from gathering intelligence to taking direct action. It is time to initiate the sovereign reset.
Now, this is not about adding more tasks to your to-do list. No, this is about a fundamental demolition and reconstruction of your identity as an operator. This, this question right here is the prime directive. Stop asking what should I do and start asking who must I become. See, the amateur tries to find motivation. The sovereign performs a strategic identity takeover. Action always follows identity, not the other way around. A true strategist diagnoses reality before dawn not because it's on a checklist, but because that is who they are. So let's do an immediate diagnostic. Use these 5 questions from the Sovereign Reset Protocol to stress test your own operation, and be brutal with yourself. First, does your business create value that somebody else can't just easily replicate? Second, does your pricing actually reflect the transformation you provide, not just the hours you put in? And third, do you have automatic filters to keep bad clients out? Answering no to any of these reveals a serious crack in your foundation.
And here is the ultimate truth of this entire briefing. While you're out there searching for some hidden secret, your competitor is just making one more call. They're improving their offer. They're firing a bad client. The magic you're looking for is hidden in the mundane, executed with a level of consistency that looks like a superpower to everybody else.
This is the end of the briefing. The strategies, the frameworks, the psychological insights, they are all completely worthless if they just remain concepts in your head. The final barrier between you and the reality you want isn't knowledge. It's embodiment. You see, the theories are just words until you become the person who executes them without even thinking about it. The transmission of knowledge is over. The initiation into embodiment has just begun. So the only question left is, what will you build?